12 years ago, I saw this video. The drummer in that video is Chris Coleman, and he's playing an arrangement of Toto's song Georgie Porgy with a band that was, I think, doing a clinic at the Musicians Institute. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Chris, he's played with artists like Shaka Khan and Prince and Israel Houghton and many, many others, and he's one of my favorite drummers of all time. And because I love Chris so much, I sat down and transcribed note for note exactly what Chris is playing in this video, because I feel like Chris has this rare blend of groove, musicality, and power. A lot of drummers have one of those things, some drummers have two, but not all have three, and I just love Chris's playing so much. Now, before I get into this transcription that took me 12 years to complete, I want you to know two things. One, you can download the transcription PDF for free in the link in the description. There's a link there, you go there, put your email in, and you get the PDF instantly. You can download it for free. Second thing is, if you just want to jump to the part where I show you the transcription, you can jump to this point in the video. That is where the notation video will start if you just care about the Chris Coleman of it all. But I urge you, stick around. Listen to why this took me 12 years and why I think if you see my work like this and you think, man, I could never do that, I think you could, and this is the story of why. I first saw this video 12 years ago, and when I sat down to transcribe it note for note, try to figure out what Chris was doing, this is what I came up with. And you'll notice it is not complete, and it also looks pretty ragged. And I went through and checked the accuracy of it because it's been 12 years. Let's see if I've learned anything since then. Let me see if I'm hearing things differently. So out of the 13 measures that I completed back then, I found mistakes in 12 of them, which gives me roughly about a 7.7 or round up to 8% success rate. Now, I'm not sharing that just to roast myself. I'm actually doing it because of this thing that I found very hard to give an example of over the years. So if you're unfamiliar with what I do, I have a studio here in Nashville. Those are the drums I record at for a lot of people all over the world. But along with that, I also do transcriptions for brands like Vic Firth and Zildjian. And I've worked with drummers like Stanton Moore and Aaron Sterling and the Percussive Arts Society and done projects with Benny Greb, whatever. I transcribe for a lot of people, and I have a lot of videos of my transcriptions out in the world, and people will see them, and I often see comments that read something like, wow, you're so gifted, I could never do this. And I think that that's really, really kind. I think those comments are coming from a really sincere place. They see work that I've done, they're very appreciative of it, and they want to say something nice about it. And I really appreciate that. But I also look at those comments and think, man, I couldn't disagree more. And I know that because I couldn't really read music until halfway through music college. So about 12 years ago or so is when I started really reading music, because I had learned by ear. It had gotten me into college just kind of playing by ear. And then it was in college that I realized, man, I really need to figure out how to read music. I need to figure out how to chart. I need to be able to, for real, read music, sight read music. Otherwise, I'm going to keep getting beat at auditions, keep not being able to take certain gigs because I can't learn the music quick enough. And that's when my reading music journey kind of started. It was halfway through college. And 12 years ago, when I tried to transcribe this drum solo, I'm not kidding, that sloppy 8% accurate work that you saw earlier, it took hours for me to just transcribe one measure. And now, in 2025, 12 years or a little over a decade later, when I did this solo and I transcribed it, it probably took 2 hours total. So I've gotten a lot quicker over the years, but that doesn't remove the fact that back then, 12 years ago, not only could I not transcribe the solo, but in order to transcribe the measures incorrectly, it took me hours. So if you're sitting there going, man, I could never do a transcription like this, personally, I believe you could, because I said the same thing you did. So let's take a second and look at why this transcription was so hard for me 12 years ago. And it wasn't just because I lacked kind of rhythmic understanding of what some of the things Chris was doing. It was also because of, take this transcription, take this solo. It was recorded with a handheld, some kind of handheld camera or phone, which means that it's not a pristine stereo mix with beautifully mixed drums. It's a mono mix of just kind of really distorted audio and Chris playing. So that makes it really, really difficult to hear ghost notes when cymbals are also happening. It makes it really hard to tell the difference between kick drums and toms. So over the years, I've developed ways where, whether it's a pristine mix or it's a video like this, I've developed ways to kind of be able to establish what is what, even if the audio quality is poor. Those are skills I just didn't have 12 years ago. And with a video like this, some of the things that help me are if I'm having a problem distinguishing a kick drum from a tom, what I'll do is I'll go through the whole, I think this video is like 12 minutes or something. I'll go through the whole 12-minute video and just listen for instances where Chris is hitting just one drum all by itself. And then I'll kind of lock that away in my brain and go, okay, that's what the rack tom sounds like. And it's the same with anything else I'm confused about. And that way, when I'm transcribing the solo, I'm less confused about stuff because now I have a really clear reference in my head of like, remember the floor tom sounded like this. That doesn't quite sound like it. That's probably a kick drum or something like that. And now in the busier section of this solo, there's a lot of instances where Chris is playing tom and kick together and then sometimes not. And sometimes he's going quickly between the two, and it can be, even when you do have a clear reference, it can be really, really hard. And that's when I noticed over the years to look visually for things that might help you. And I noticed that in this video, if you look right here in the video, every time Chris hits the kick drum, there's a little reflection or something that's going on. And that was a really helpful clue for me because now if I'm audibly trying to like question what exactly is going on, I have a visual reference that I can look for and go, it kind of sounds like there's a kick drum there, but I'm not seeing that little reflection thing, so he probably didn't play kick drum there. And there are endless things like this that I've learned over the years, helpful hints to help me get through some of the more difficult transcriptions I've done. And I eventually decided, hey, I should put these in a course to teach people all this stuff. So if you really want to do a super deep dive, I have a whole course called Notation for the Working Drummer that you can download at my website. It's kind of everything that I've learned over the last 10 to 15 years of transcribing. It's over 9 hours of video content. It has hands-on exercises so that no matter what skill level you're at, you can actually work through exercises. I personally think hands-on learning is the best way to learn the art of transcribing and charting. I talk about how to chart and learn music quickly. And more than anything else, it's a course that teaches you how to transcribe your favorite drummers, how to critically listen to music better so that you can learn drums deeper and that you don't have to rely on someone like me to teach you. You can do it yourself. You know, I started transcribing originally because there were no YouTube videos on some of the drummers I wanted to study. And if that's ever happened to you, learning the art of transcription can be a way to get around that, as well as, you know, the better you are at transcribing and charting things, the quicker you can learn music, all that stuff. So my course, Notation for the Working Drummer, is available below in the description. It's also on sale for the next week or so. So if you want to buy it at a discount, it is there in the description below. And now let's get to, you know, the transcription that took me 12 years. This is Chris Coleman's solo on Georgie Porgy.